Imperial Aces is a very straightforward expansion pack. You get 2 TIE Interceptors with new paint jobs, 4 unique and 2 non-unique pilots, and 6 upgrade cards. I'm not going to talk about the specifics of the TIE Interceptor in this video, because I already did that in the TIE Interceptor expansion review, so check that out if you haven't already and you want to know more about this impressive ship. Let's take a look at the TIE Interceptors in this expansion. The first one is identical to the standard version, except for horizontal red stripes on its panels. These markings are given to ace pilots of Saber Squadron, led by Baron Sunter Fell, who you might recall is one of the pilots included in the TIE Interceptor expansion pack. In fact, most of the pilots from that expansion are Saber Squadron aces, so it's nice to have a model for them to pilot. The second TIE Interceptor is painted the crimson red of the Emperor's Royal Guard. This version of the ship has ties with a couple of the pilots and upgrades in this expansion. The first pilot included here is Karnor Jax, who, as you can see by the artwork, is one of those Royal Guard pilots. He costs 26 points and has a pilot skill of 8. When he's within range 1 of an enemy ship, that ship cannot perform focus or evade actions or spend focus or evade tokens. Because interceptors excel at getting close to their targets via the barrel roll and boost actions, this is a very strong ability for this ship. Karnor Jax can also take an elite talent upgrade. Tetran Cowl costs 24 points and has a pilot skill of 7. When he reveals a K-turn, he can choose between speeds of 1, 3, or 5 for that maneuver. This is an interesting ability since K-turns are a big part of keeping ships in the fight, and being able to swap distances like this can put him into the most advantageous position. He can also take an elite talent. Kir Kanos is another Royal Guard pilot. He costs 24 points and has a pilot skill of 6. When he attacks at ranges 2 or 3, he can spend an evade token to add a hit to the roll. This ability has a couple things working against it. First, it only works at ranges 2 and 3, and interceptors are built to get into range 1. Second, it requires using an evade token, which interceptors generally want to use defensively to help them stay alive. These are powerful and impressive ships, but they're still TIE fighters, and a single lucky attack can take them off the board. The final unique pilot is Lieutenant Laurier. He costs 23 points and has a pilot skill of 5. When he barrel rolls, he can take a stress token to use the Speed 1 banking turn template instead of the normal Speed 1 straight template. This is a kind of neat ability since it gives him a total of 4 placement options before tweaking the position of his ship, instead of 2 after a barrel roll. It can put him into perfect firing position or get him out of enemy arcs. There are 2 copies of the non-unique Royal Guard pilot. He costs 22 points and has a pilot skill of 6. He can also take an elite talent. Finally, there are 2 copies of Saber Squadron pilot included here. This card is also in the TIE Interceptor expansion. He costs 21 points, has a pilot skill of 4, and can take an elite talent upgrade. There are 6 upgrade cards in this expansion, and you get 2 copies of each of them. Let's start with the big TIE Interceptor only card. Royal Guard TIE is a title card that costs nothing and lets the ship equip 2 modifications with the stipulation that they can't be the same. Obviously, this is a great card. There's no reason not to use it since it's free, and it really opens up the build options for TIE Interceptors. Push the Limit is a 3-point elite talent. If you've watched my TIE Interceptor video, you already know that I think this is the single best elite talent for this ship. It lets you take 2 actions and then get a stress token. Interceptors can get rid of stress easily, thanks to their many green maneuvers on the dial. Previously to this pack, this card was only available in the A-Wing expansion. Opportunist is a 4-point elite talent that's only available in this expansion as of Wave 5. When making an attack, if the target doesn't have any focus or evade tokens, you can take a stress token and roll an additional die. This is a decent upgrade for Karnor Jax, since if the opponent wants to counter Opportunist, he'll have to use a focus or evade action that he won't benefit from if Jax gets into range 1 before attacking. Even better, if Jax is already within range 1 after the enemy ship moves, he won't be able to use focus or evade actions at all. I'm not convinced that this is a better elite talent for him than Push the Limit, though. Hull Upgrade costs 3 points and increases your hull value by 1. It's unique to this expansion as of Wave 5, and it's a solid modification for interceptors because it makes eliminating them in a single attack roll pretty unlikely, although it can still happen. Shield Upgrade costs 4 points and increases your shield value by 1. This card is also available in the Millennium Falcon expansion. There's a reason that both this card and Hull Upgrade are in this pack. With the Royal Guard title, TIE Interceptors can use both of them to get a hull value of 4 and a shield value of 1, making them nearly as durable as the venerable X-Wing. Lastly, Targeting Computer costs 2 points and gives the ship the target lock action. It's unique to this expansion. Okay, that's the Imperial Aces expansion pack. It takes what was already a very impressive ship and makes it better with a free title upgrade that expands its build options significantly. Currently, there are really only 4 modification cards in the game that work well for the TIE Interceptor. They are Hull Upgrade, Shield Upgrade, Targeting Computer, and Stealth Device. It's nice that 3 of them are included here. If you want Stealth Device, you need to buy the Slave 1 expansion. Having the ability to choose 2 of those 4 modifications is really fantastic, and allows for some very frightening interceptor builds. Soontir Fel with Push the Limit, Hull Upgrade, and Shield Upgrade, for example, can be extremely difficult to deal with unless you have turrets. If you're an Imperial player, this is a very good expansion that you'll want to add to your collection. Thanks for watching the Cardboard Dungeons X-Wing ship reviews, and for putting up with my slightly post-cold voice. I'll see you next time.